Now, look, we've gathered here today to talk about family meal times, and there's an extra guest which is turning up at many of your meal times, and many parents are simply saying this guest is not welcome. Tell us more.
Yes, more than 11 million devices, which include smartphones, iPads, tablets, that kind of thing. They're being brought to the dinner table, which is distracting more than a third of children. Nearly a quarter of families who bring technology to the table say they're prevented from having proper conversations with one another. And it seems technology is also limiting the amount of time families spend together during those meal times. A fifth of families saying that dinner has become a functional and rushed occasion, presumably so kids can get back to their computers.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I've seen it causes so many rows, and we've got parenting expert Liz Fraser here to tell us how bad it is and what can be done.
Well, if a third of children are being distracted at dinner tables, you know, during dinner, while you're supposed to be talking and eating, not at the same time, if I might add, that is a lot, actually. And in the old days, we've always had technology of some kind, you know, in our homes, but because they're mobile, because we can take them everywhere with us, they come with us. And I think a lot of people watching have sat at the table and someone's phone somewhere has gone bzz or beep beep, and then the temptation then is to check it. And really, the only thing you can do, I think, at that point is just to say total tech amnesty at the table.
Don't even come in the room. Adults do it as
I'm
well.
terrible. Yeah, I'm the worst. I'm worse than my children. And I do think also it can be brought into as part of the conversation. It's not only bad. I think there are some times when, you know, when you're having a chat and there's a word that you don't know the meaning of and you want to look it up, and then you can use that to check but then put it away. But we do know that conversation, children's ability to talk, to interact, is really sort of suffering at the moment. In fact, there was a story only yesterday in the news about 5-year-olds not being prepared for school, you know, not being able to just do the very basics, like sit down, listen, have a conversation. Actually, a lot of this technology, the fact that we're distracted all the time, I think really feeds into that as well.
You know what I genuinely love? A little pleasure in my life. I love having time to have my breakfast and to put my glasses on and to take a newspaper and read the front of it and then read the back of it.
But reading at the table
but is that the same thing, you see? Interesting.
My wife will not have this, you're right. I'm
well,
absolutely told I'm rude and I'm distant, and now the newspapers have been banned from the breakfast table.
And in that sense, you could say that these are exactly the same. This is just an electronic newspaper, and that's all. I think that's very, very different, though, from taking calls, taking text messages.
Well, they don't take calls. What they do is they take a Snapchat.
Exactly.
So they've got a fork in one hand and they're going like that. And what are you doing? I'm talking to my friend. You're not actually. You're doing a photo. Yeah, it's Snapchat. Yeah. So they have to do a photo and talk and hold the fork. Yeah.
I mean, the actual serious problem with that, if you want to bring something quite important, is the effect that it's having on their brain. Because if I'm sitting here talking to you, but I'm aware on some level that someone's, you know, texting me, someone's tweeting me,
they have no
you
attention span.
are actually distracted the entire time. Exactly.
Yes,
and the attention span thing is a genuine problem.
We face that with my youngest lad, who's 12, and when we say this, right, put that away, you're not doing that, whatever. Yeah. So dinner then ends up silent. Everything's silent as he's going, you know, just whatever, going through the motions.
Yeah.
Mrs. H is fuming, steam's coming out of her ears. I'm trying to be peacemaker, but everybody's quiet, and you might as well just let him use it.
Judy Murray makes them all put their iPads, iPods in the middle and makes a big like mountain. They all in the middle. And
like an iPad amnesty.
You can't touch them.
It has to be bleeping all the time. No, I think it has to be away. It has to be absolutely away, where you can't reach it and you can't hear it, because it's that little bleepy distraction thing, which means, and also you're not concentrating on the food you're eating. Yeah. One thing we do know is that if you're distracted by television or other things while you're eating food, you tend to eat more, which we know is also actually linked to the obesity problem that we have. And if you eat more slowly, miserably, and in silence, like in Eamon's house.
A few things becoming very obvious to me now, listening to that. No, absolutely agree with you. Ban it from the table, ban it from the room, and we'll see what happens. So there we go. Thank you very much indeed, Liz Fraser. Jacqueline?
Yeah, I wonder if Paul McGinley's banned